Okay, Mr. Allen here. Just going to go through a few of the options to consider to add to the Shark demo. First thing I want to say, I mentioned in class that the file saves automatically. You do want to recognize that it saves automatically certain times. See, the Save Now thing here is telling me that I have not yet saved. When I click on costumes or I click on sounds, it does save. When I click to my project page, it saves before I go there. But see inside, you can save automatically, or you can save on your own as well by clicking on Save Now, or by going to File and Save Now as well. Just make sure you do save before you close. If you try to exit out, it tells you changes you made will not be saved, so then I can choose to stay and save if I did want to exit. So options for the shark attack. So I have a list of things that I just sort of came up with off the top of my head. Changing the size of the sprites. You can sort of see here my little fish now is quite small compared to my shark. What I found, and again I'm learning along with you, is that the best way to change the size of a sprite is by using the set size to % command, as opposed to trying to change the size in costumes, because it only changes the individual costumes. You have to resize each one to be the same, whereas this changes the actual sprite. And if you change the size of the sprite, the each costume is changed as well. So we sort of see this by looking at the shark here. Set size to be, make it 200%, and as we move the shark around, he still changes. Both forms look the same. So I don't really want that there. Now he'll stay at the 100%. Oh, actually, sorry, he stays at 100% of where he was, so I guess I would have to change him back now if I want to do that. If I stop it, does it? Yeah. And then I can kind of leave him at that size as well. So it's a couple little tricky things there to pay attention to. What else do we say? Having the enemies chase you. So if fish 3 is my enemy here, I've made a very simple program that you can kind of mimic. It says when the green flag is clicked forever, point my fish, my enemy here in this case, towards the shark. So he's chasing me. Move a certain number of steps, wait before you move again. And of course, I think you can envision why that's the idea, because he's otherwise going to be maybe too quick. You can play with that anyways to see what you need, of course. Whether you like it that speed or a little bit slower is of course up to you. What did I want to do here? Switching costumes. You know that once you have a sprite chosen, you can set up multiple costumes for him here. What I did with this one, of course, was I set him so that when he gets to the guy, you can see that he chomps down, and my little fish, after saying ouch, disappears. I got a couple of chomps in each time. I'm not sure what I did there. Adding more targets. So how do we add a target? We add a sprite here. We're going to duplicate him, and we can, I guess we could duplicate him a couple of times. You see there are 3 little fish swimming around. As I run now, ouch. But you'll notice, although each one says ouch and jumps to a new location, only the original fish gets chomped down on. And the reason for that is I put the code to chomp and to keep the score inside the shark. If I had chosen to put it inside the fish instead, then when I copied and pasted, the code for the fish would have copied and pasted. So I now have an option to go back into my shark. It says if I'm touching fish 2, I can also verify to see if I'm touching fish 4 or fish 5, add those in. One option there would be to use the OR. So use the OR, and it says now trying to get into the spot here. Okay, duplicate this, trying to get into spot here. And so if I'm touching either fish 2 or fish 4, I can put that in, and I will keep score now when I'm attacking 2 of the fish. Not that one apparently. That one fine. And then this one over here works as well. And of course I could extend that out by putting another or to include or fish 5 as well. Sort of just using that same symbol, putting the one symbol into the spot. So all of that now, is in the if statement, and I can add in the last fish if I want to. I haven't done anything with the shark being actually attacked by the enemy yet. I simply have it sort of, the enemy is chasing, so you could do something with that as well, similar to what we did with these fish. And you can sort of see if that fish is touching the shark, then he says ouch for a certain amount of time. He waits for a second and then reappears randomly on the screen. And the way I picked these numbers was just by cursoring over. You can see maybe right here, I don't know how well it shows up, the numbers are changing. And so it gives me an idea. In this upper corner, I'm at something like negative 235 and 175. Down here I'm at positive 235 and 170, 175. So again, just picking numbers that kind of get me to somewhere in randomly across the screen. Maybe a little bit better would have been something like 200 and 200 and 150 and 150, negative 150, positive 150, to keep me off the corners when the fish jumps. As far as the points go, sort of just reading down my list here, we want to have the game randomize the points you earn with each attack or hit. In this case, on my shark, if I go back to my shark, here we are, it says change the score by 1. And of course, I think we've used this already. If we haven't, in the green section there's a pick a random number, so you can choose a number between 1 and 10, or say 1 and 4 or something like that, and my score will go up by that random number when of course I bit the wrong one. So there I got 2, 4, I got up 7, 10, so I went up by 3s there. Again, something I've done is causing my score to go up twice when I attack the fish. Anyways, this is just sort of a different group of options, changing the costumes. You saw under costume we have sort of a different option. We could load in a different picture that's similar, or we could draw, sort of draw the original picture and edit it. We can use the switch costume when we determine it's the right time to do it. Something like this allows you to randomly pick a costume. You could also just have it pick the next costume, another option under looks here. I've shrunk my screen. I've got next costume, and so you can simply put next costume in, and as you swim around, it just changes to the next costume each time. Not ideal, but something you could play with possibly if you wanted that option available. And then add change backgrounds. Stage background is here. We didn't mention this last day. You can load in a backdrop by either painting your own, of course, or uploading a picture from a file, or just choosing one of the backdrops that's available. Something like an ocean here might make some sense. There we go, underwater, beautiful. So that's sort of all the options there. It says add sound effects. We've already done that. So again, just some different things that we can consider for our game. I just noticed as I'm saying this that my little fish have stopped swimming. That's because I told them to. When I was wanting to test the program, I stopped the fish from swimming because they were too hard to catch. But of course, here I have it set to move 0 steps. We would want them moving 10 steps or 5 steps or something that would allow us to then have them swim around and we can chase them. So the one guy's going to swim now. He's moving pretty quickly, but if I can catch him, I'll still get my chomp. Oh, I got a chomp in, but it was barely obvious. There I go. Got him. Haha. Now he moves somewhere else. Chase him down. Haha. Oh, he popped back up right where I was. Awesome. Oh yeah, got him twice. Hey, so what you can notice is one thing that seems to happen is I get a few chomps in. One possibility is that he's reappearing right where I am, and one is that I'm getting multiple chomps at a time. I think both are actually happening. So something that we might have to work on if we wanted to really do a good job with this. But at this point, the basics are there, and we've seen enough to be able to make our own project later on.